Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to greet you all once again on behalf of our Board of Directors and Senior Management. We begin by thanking all of you for having spare time in joining us here today to discuss our full year financial year 20 and first quarter earnings for the financial year 2021. For Vakrangi, financial year 2020 was a year of scaling up our transformational journey which was initiated last year. During the year, we significantly scaled up our standardized exclusive next-gen format Vakrangi format Kendra network to more than 10,000 plus operational outlets as compared to 3,504 operational outlets in financial year 2019. During the year under review, we successfully reached 10,000 plus next-gen Vakrangi Kendra and another 24,000 plus outlets are under onboarding process. These outlets are spread across 32 states and union territories over 560 districts, 7,250 postal codes, and 70% outlets are in Tier 5, Tier 6 cities and would become operational over the next 6 to 12 months. These stores are exclusive unified branded stores for delivering a consistent consumer experience and well-defined service level. As with respect to our business strategy, we are guided that the worst is behind us and we shall be showcasing better growth and improved financial every quarter-on-quarter basis, and more next-gen outlets become operational and mature going forward. Our next-gen outlets shall do better revenues and have enhanced profitability due to focused efforts on Vakrangi services due to exclusive store format. Also, incremental footfall and revenue streams added because of additions of a new services. It was also a year in which we enhanced our services portfolio significantly, bringing the widest range of options to our customers while giving our franchisee a much faster path to breaking even and profitability. During the year, we introduced affordable V-Health by Aetna, a CVC health company, telemedicine services to our customers in underserved rural locations. The service is said to give patients in rural locations a very different experience when they see a doctor to listen to their concerns and do a virtual consultation, and will help reduce the need for physical consultation by over 70%. Further, we shall also be able to arrange home blood tests and doorstep delivery of medicine through V-Health Partners Network. Further, during the year, we renewed our key licenses and partners agreements such as the ATM license from the Reserve Bank of India, agreement with Amazon, as well as some more new partnerships such as the Chhattisgarh Rajya Gramin Bank for banking BC Point and corporate agency type with Life Insurance Corporation of India to distribute micro insurance products through next-gen Vakrangi Kendra network. During COVID pandemic and lockdown situation, we have been successful in keeping our 10,000 plus outlet operational during this period of lockdown, since we have been providing essential services. However, the service offering at our outlet was limited at majorly only banking, ATM, mobile recharge and telemedicine services were operational, whereas other key services like online shopping, online pharmacy, insurance services, travel services and logistics were closed due to on-ground delivery challenges and travel ban amidst lockdown. This makes us one of the very few companies globally who are operational during a lockdown and providing key emergency and essential services to the citizen in the most environment-friendly manner at the remotest part of the country, thereby serving unserved and underserved part of the country. At the same time, health of our franchisee and customer is important to us, and all our Vakrangi Kendras are maintaining complete safety protocols and also maintaining proper hygiene at the outlets. We believe our brand awareness and store awareness has increased significantly during this period of COVID-19 pandemic, as our Kendras have been open and are providing key essential services in their neighborhoods, due to which we believe we shall emerge as the store of choice for our customers for all their essential needs. Further, now as the situation improves and Unlock 1.0 has begun since 8th June, We expect our services to normalize over the next few months and business growth momentum to improve and be better going forward. Due to our enhanced visibility during this lockdown period and an aggressive marketing campaign done over the last 6 months, the company has received an overwhelming response on the same and has received huge number of new inquiries for next-gen franchisee models. Further, under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, the bank have started to extend finance to the micro enterprises which are in the business of manufacturing, trading and service sector in rural, urban and metro areas. I am pleased to share that our company has entered into a partnership agreement with Union Bank of India to provide the loan facility for Pan-India Next-Gen Vakrangi Kendra franchisees. The bank is now offering a special product for our franchisee under Union Mudra scheme. Union Bank of India has an overall planned outlay of rupees 2,000 crore and sanctioned the outlay of 800 crore first tranche under the Union Mudra scheme for Next-Gen Vakrangi Kendra franchisees. The loan covered under Mudra schemes are collateral-free loans. This is a huge boost to our potential franchisees, thereby easing the onboarding process for our potential franchisees. Further, with respect to future visibility of number of next-gen outlets, I would like to say that we have received 1,20,000 plus inquiries. Out of this, around 24,000 plus have been currently under onboarding process. These exclude the 10,000 plus outlets which are already operational. Of these 24,000 plus outlets, around 50,000 outlets are under advanced process and would become operational over the next 3 to 6 months. These 15,000 next-gen outlets are expected to be operational in the current calendar year itself in 2020. The balance outlets are expected to be operational by March to June next year. So overall, we expect around 35,000 next-gen outlets to be operational by the June next year. Due to COVID-19 pandemic situation, there has been disruption in the supply chain and few challenges in the procurement of the hardware equipments for the Kendra outlet. Most of these equipments are imported and are assembled in India. In the current environment, we expect at least 25 to 30% price hike in the cost in the case of hardware equipment. We have leveraged our strong balance sheet to support our vendors financially in this moment of crisis to meet our projected requirements, as well as we have successfully ensured an uninterrupted supply of software and hardware equipment without any material price impact. It gives me immense pleasure to say that we have the software and hardware procurement well in place for another batch of 25,000 Kendras. This would give us a huge advantage in our industry segment, as our franchisee viability would be much better, as well as initiation process would be quick and unaffected due to any supply chain constraint in the near future. Commenting on the operational performance, Vakrangi Kendra network throughput has crossed $1 billion during Q4 financial year 2020. As well as we have clocked more than $1 billion in the June quarter, which was impacted due to COVID situation. Currently, we are at annualized run rate of $4 billion throughput. Our total number of transactions crossed 30 million transactions on a quarterly basis. It is very heartening to see this performance, as these outlets are still maturing and growing. With more and more outlets becoming operational and mature, this would significantly increase over a period of time, and we will witness a benefit of strong operating leverage, as our cost would remain at the same level until we reach 35,000 fully operational outlets. Commenting on the financial performance during the March quarter, robust growth is seen in financial across all parameters due to clear focus on store profitability and service activation across the network. Actually, in March quarter, we actually lost 15 days of business as stores were closed in initial days of lockdown. Our revenue from operation stood at rupees 207.39 crores, registering an year-on-year growth of 104%. Our profit after tax has grown by 383% to rupees 31.16 crore. Revenue from operation increased primarily due to increase in number of operational outlets and maturity of existing outlets. During the June quarter, revenue and profitability has been materially impacted due to COVID-19 pandemic and nationwide lockdown situation. Outlets were closed between 15th March till first week of April due to nationwide lockdown. Between second week of April till first week of June, only our key essential services like banking, ATM and mobile recharge and telemedicine services have been operational. However, other key services like assisted online shopping, online pharmacy, travel services and logistics have been completely closed because of the on-ground field level delivery challenges and travel services being closed due to the lockdown situation. Post 8th June, as the Unlock 1.0 exercise has begun, although there are still field level and delivery challenges, we are striving our best efforts to keep these essential services available across our network of stores. We expect stores to normalize over the next 3 to 6 months. Going forward, once the environment normalizes, we expect the financials to keep improving as more and more next-gen outlets become operational and as the stores get more and more mature. Also, we have been able to maintain the robust balance sheet with debt-free status and entire capex has been funded through internal accruals. During the year, in recognition of our superior environmental, social and governance model, our company Vakrangi Limited has been globally ranked number 1 in the Sustainalytics ESG risk rating ranking out of the 668 companies assessed in the software and service industry across worldwide. We are honored and excited to receive this rating from Sustainalytics. This rating is a validation of our belief and commitment to our business model of Next Gen Vakrangi Kendra. Also, our company has been also accepted as a signatory of the United Nations Global Compact. We are now part of global network of over 9,500 companies and 3,000 non-business participants that are committed to building a sustainable future. Going forward, we shall witness growth on 3 paths, which is increase in number of outlets, activation of all services across outlets, and then maturity of the services over the period of time. Also, I would like to welcome Mr. S.C. Mittal, our newly appointed independent director, which will further strengthen our board independence and enhance our corporate governance standards. Mr. Mittal has a rich experience of over the 37 years in the field of banking and financial inclusion, where he has held several positions and headed several projects at Union Bank of India. He would add value and be guiding mentor for us in the field of banking and financial inclusion. Further, we have also announced a dividend of rupees 0.25 per share, which translates into dividend payout ratio of 37%. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our shareholders for their support. We can now open the floor for Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Rahul Gupta, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Can you explain me the reason for the revenue degrowth in June quarter, and what is your guidance for next 6 to 9 months?
Thank you, Mr. Rahul. So if you see specifically with respect to the June quarter, as we have highlighted in our presentation also, that it was primarily impacted because of this COVID pandemic and lockdown situation. Because our stores, when the lockdown started, it started somewhere between 15th to 20th of March is where the initial things started coming in India. So the initial 10 to 15 days till the first week of April, almost all the stores were completely shut. and we had to do a lot of paperwork in order to get the permissions and the approvals for as we were providing the essential services. Post the second week of April till the entire June quarter, our 10,000 stores have been operational, but providing only essential services. So services such as banking services, ATM services, mobile recharges, and some part is telemedicine, which is primarily the teleconsultation services. However, our all other services at the store, which is entire online shopping, online pharmacy, logistics, travel services, they were completely shut because of the field level delivery challenges. As most of our 80% of our outlets are in below tier 4, so in tier 4 to tier 6 locations, so there is huge logistic and delivery challenges, as well as the entire travel services were banned during this period. So if you see prima facie, because of that, our revenues and profitability both have been impacted because of this. Now, as your second part of the question, which is what is your outlook for the next 6 to 9 months? So if you see, what we are saying is even today the lockdown has not opened up completely and it has not got normalized. Still, there are travel services which are almost as good as negligible. Still, if you see online shopping in the rural segment specifically, there are huge amount of logistic and delivery challenges. So as the things are getting normalized, so as the unlock 1.0 opened up in second week of June, we have started seeing some improvement, but we feel that it will take 3 to 6 months in order to get to proper normalized situation. But we should be glad to see that almost all our stores are operational and providing the essential services, and we have been a big beneficiary because of this, as our brand awareness, store awareness, consumer awareness has increased substantially. So even if you see in terms of in June quarter, actually we did more number of transactions as compared to our earlier quarter. So that is a very positive sign that we see, because in banking in services specifically, because of this government subsidy schemes, and also since we were the only store operational in that neighborhood, we got lot of the number of transactions as well as the GMV for our banking services increased materially. So we are seeing that benefit, and I think so that will in the long term, over the next after 6 to 9 months, once the situation is normalized, we will get that benefit in all other services also, as those consumers, those customers which have now become aware of our outlet, they will also be utilizing our other services. So I think so from a long-term perspective, it has been a huge positive in terms of our image building as well as brand awareness. And currently, I think so the situation has to normalize. It will take, I think so, 3 to 6 months for things to get completely normalized. Thank you.
Mr. Gupta, are you done with your question? Mr. Gupta?
Yeah, it's okay.
Is your question answered?
No.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ronak Chandravanshi, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, my question is, I would like to know your guidance on the number of outlets for the current financial year.
So, Mr. Ronak, so as what we have guided is that we already have 10,000 stores which are already in operation. We have overall onboarded almost 24,200 plus outlets, out of which almost 15,000 outlets are in advanced stage of completion. So there, because of this COVID, there was a logistic challenge to deliver them the hardware kit and other things. But I think so these franchisees were already onboarded. They are now in the advanced stage of getting their store completed. So we expect these 15,000 additional incremental outlets to become operational in this calendar year itself. So before December, we expect around 25,000 operational stores. And because of the good response that we have got to our marketing campaign, we are having another almost 9,000 to 10,000 outlets which are currently got additionally onboarded. So we believe that those will get completely operational maybe by March or at max June of next year. So if you ask me, in this calendar year, we are saying 25,000 operational stores. We will revamp from 10,000 to 25,000 operational stores. And maybe by mid of next year, we will be at 35,000 operational stores. So that is where we stand as on date today.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abhishek Bhushan from Venture Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. We have seen the reduction in the cash balance, and there has been increase in the advances. Can you please explain the reason for the same?
Abhishek, as what Dinesh also highlighted in his initial speech, that because of this COVID pandemic and lockdown situation, as well as what we are seeing in terms of Indo-China relationships and everything, there are lot of disruptions we are witnessing in terms of hardware availability, because most of the hardware that we buy is typically imported and it gets assembled here in India. So that supply chain has been impacted, has been disrupted, because of which we were facing some challenges in terms of availability of the material, as well as we are witnessing right now the prices being increased anywhere between 20 to 30 to 40%. So we were one of the few players in the market where we had a good strong balance sheet in place, where we had a good cash balance in place. We have utilized that in order to in the business, so that we can get the benefit of that. So we have got some trade discount, as well as more important than that, we have got an assurance of the availability of the material without any material price impact. So if you see from a business perspective, it is beneficial to us. We have utilized that capital. As the funds come in from the franchisees over a period of the next 6 to 9 to 12 months, it will increase further. So from that perspective, I think so we have taken the benefit of this situation, and we have ensured that there is no problem from a supply chain perspective in our growth plans, because our growth plans are fairly aggressive, where we are ramping up from 10,000 to almost 35,000. So we have that hardware availability, software availability now completely in place, and there has been no price impact for us, and more than that, material availability is in place for us.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashutosh Verma from Luthra Investments. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Nandwana. So my question is, your throughput numbers are very encouraging. And where do you see these numbers in the next 12 months, number one? And what would be the impact on profitability in the next 12 months?
So if you see, as you rightly said, that is what we have also highlighted, that our throughput numbers are very, very encouraging, because even in this lockdown period, we have clocked almost $1 billion of throughput in terms of our BFSI services. Our e-commerce services were impacted, and our one-time services, which is typically account opening or insurance services or loan products, those have been impacted, which are more fee-based. But in terms of throughput, which is our transaction value for the banking services, for the ATM services, overall we have been very encouraging response what we have seen. So the number of transactions have also increased. So we actually did more number of transactions during the June quarter as compared to March quarter. This is also because the ticket size were low, but number of transactions were higher. One of the also reason for this is there was a government subsidy scheme, which is the Garib Kalyan Yojana, where government has been distributing 500 rupees per person per month, due to which we got the benefit of the number of transactions. And overall banking throughput has increased because we were the only store which was operational in that neighborhood. So there were other alternatives which might have been shut during this lockdown. And as well as even the bank branches were not fully operational. So, and we also came out with very innovative strategies. So we came out with an initiative which was the doorstep banking. So instead of people traveling to our outlets, we actually had on particular days such as weekends, where our franchisees are traveling to the main rural villages or to the senior citizens. and providing them doorstep banking services, so which has also given us a lot of credibility in terms of our brand awareness, in terms of our store awareness. And if you see, currently we are at a run rate of almost $4 billion of throughput. So just to give you some examples, if we take just publicly available information, a company like a Flipkart, which does a throughput of almost $8 billion to $9 billion when they got acquired by Walmart at $20 billion. Or even if we take some news articles, then Paytm is somewhere around $6 to $7 billion. They get valued at around $15 to $16 billion. We are already doing a run rate of almost around $4 billion with our current number of stores, and we are ramping up the stores 3 times. So from 10,000 stores, we go to around 35,000 stores over the next 12 months. So we expect this throughput to improve significantly because even our stores are not completely mature. They are still growing. So we are still in the growth phase. So I think so this number will improve substantially over the next 12 months, and automatically the benefit will come to the top line and the bottom line because your revenues and profitability are nothing but a calculation based on the GMV. So I think so as our GMV improves, our transaction number improves, our profitability and revenue will get positively impacted because of this.
Amazing. Amazing. Great. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take the last 2 questions. The next question is from the line of Vishal Solanki from Ocean Enterprises. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Is there any update on the debtors and when is the same expected?
So if you see, basically the debtors are completely 100% recoverable. We don't have any challenges overseas, but yes, because of the current environment or because of this COVID, there has been slowdown. We expect these receivables to start coming in within tranches over the next 6 to 9 months. We'll start witnessing some coming of these, some of these receivables coming in. Overall, over the next 12 months, we should see material improvement in this receivable period. But if you see, it has been properly audited, it has been checked. So there are no receivables which we feel are not recoverable. All these receivables are very much in place and very much recoverable. It's just because of the current environment, there is a little bit of slowdown in this.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take the last question from the line of Manish Nair, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi. Congratulations, sir, for your first ranking in ESG rating. And it is good to see our company is serving the citizens by providing essential services. So what is your long-term roadmap and vision for the company?
If you see, basically, we have always been a very responsible and socially conscious company. So our company's business model has always been driven by financial inclusion, social inclusion, and digital inclusion. So whatever businesses we are doing, so whether it is business correspondent banking services, or it is the white label ATM services, or it is assisted e-commerce in rural locations. So our model was always revolving around this drive to do financial inclusion, social inclusion, and digital inclusion. And somewhere we thought that we are not able to project ourselves or make it more measurable in terms of the parameters which we are delivering. And that is the exercise which we took up last year, where we started focusing on measuring these parameters. And I think so it's last 1 year journey where we have revamped the entire organization structure in that manner, where all our policies, all our things are properly disclosed on our website. So if you go to our website, it is a completely revamped website where all our policies, everything is disclosed completely in public nature. And even all our things, whether from an environmental perspective, so where we became innovative in terms of doing biometric enabled banking, which is paperless banking, or even our ATM initiative where it is a paperless ATM, so it's a green initiative. Or even in our corporate office, we have almost now 15% of our energy consumption is through renewable source. So our company is taking lot of efforts, and the impact which we are making on the local communities. So if you see 10,000 outlets operational in rural India, it's 10,000 entrepreneurs. They are generating jobs, at least 1 to 2 jobs per store. We are ramping up to 35,000 stores, so it is 35,000 entrepreneurs. Plus we are creating almost another 50,000 to 70,000 jobs. And plus we are giving access to basic financial inclusion, which is your bank account as well as a RuPay card, as well as social inclusion. So we are acting as the biggest equalizer, providing the same products to the audience, whether it is urban or whether it is deep rural, at the same price and more competitive in nature and genuine products. So it's a kind of financial, social and digital inclusion, and where we are ramping up, and we have structured the entire company in such a way where we should be seen as a role model in the ESG framework, and a validation from a global renowned firm such as Sustainalytics is very encouraging for us. And we are also, I'm happy to share that even our this year annual report is an integrated annual report, and we have appointed Grant Thornton for an assurance review of the same. So even our integrated annual report will get an assurance review from Grant Thornton. So we are taking all best possible initiatives from our side in order to showcase all our initiatives from an ESG framework. And with respect to what is our long-term vision, so long-term vision, as we have always said, that we want to be in each and every postal code of the country. So our long-term target is to reach around 300,000 stores over the next 5 to 6 years. And we want to be the last mile reach touch point for every citizen in rural India. So that is where we want to be, where we provide them access to all the products and services and give them access to basic financial, social and digital inclusion. Is that right answer? Anything else from my side?
No. Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Sabharwal from Vakrangi Limited for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for participating in our results conference call. Feel free to get in touch with us. We have shared all the details on our website also. All the presentation press releases are available. If you require any further queries or anything, please feel free to write to us at investors@vakrangi.in, and we will reply to it. Thank you.